bought a house in Cabo to shake off my cargo. It went a little bit far though. I didn't blow my top off. 9-6 by Arsenal. I didn't drive my car home when I drank that charcoal. Man, I miss my mom so. Ask me how it feels. I say it feels too real. When you pick up speed towards pitch black weed. Well, you got your thoughts all the in there deep. What about your heart? Does it beat too hard? Mine does. Mine does. Mine does. Mine does. I ran around Lake Tahoe. Not once, don't stop, no. Cause I'm a brand new model with a brand new model. Yeah, I called up Carlos. Said I won't be calling. He said in my old tempo. It wouldn't make much sense, so yeah. Ask me how it feels. I say it feels too real. When you pick up speed towards the pitch black weed. When you got your thoughts all the in there deep. What about your heart? Does it beat too hard? Mine does. Mine does. Mine does. Mine does.
Thursday night Forza Motorsport Spec Racing here live on Twitch TV. Let's get it going. AMS Storm now here on lap number 34 of 34, jumps into the top spot. And here comes Maverick now, going to make a run to the inside. Drex perhaps missing his mark.
Yo, race fans all around the world, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Welcome to Xventure Live on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore, and for the next 2 hours, I bring to you Forza Spec Racing Series action here on Twitch TV. Yeah, I was off last week, so what? All right, I had to take a week off. No, I was off. Oh, hold on, this isn't even the right backdrop. What is going on? Hold on, something's amiss. Let's try this again. There we go. I go for a week, and that's what happens. I can't figure anything out anymore. Yeah, Forza Spec Racing Series, week number 2 happened last Tuesday. I usually am able to provide green to checker flag coverage all throughout the season. Last week being an exception, with it being spring break. I had to take the opportunity. It's snowing here in Colorado, so I had to take the opportunity to go where the sunshine was. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, well, let's go take a look at the standings here coming out of week number 2. The week that was not on Twitch here on the channel, but LS Subaru remains at the top of the leaderboard. Now, what is interesting, because this is just the first 2 weeks with a drop week rule in effect. That's how they calculate championship points here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. LS Subaru is at the top with 100 points coming from week number 1. It was in week number 2 where Subaru and Huracan actually split the points. 47 apiece in one race and 50 apiece in another race. AMS Huracan actually able to get the best of LS Subaru in race number 1. And then in race number 2, LS Subaru was able to regain or reclaim the top spot. Either way, we're going to see what happens here in week number 3. I should say regardless, we're going to see what happens here in week number 3. And of course, that playoff picture, that championship points picture will start to come a little bit more into focus, a lot more clearer as we head toward week number 5, which is the final week, which is the finale here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. And who will come away as the champion? Will it be Subaru, trying to be the 4-time-in-a-row champion? Nobody has ever done that in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Or will AMS Huracan, who has returned to FM4 after a little bit of a break, and put another championship trophy, not proverbial, but figuratively speaking, a figurative trophy on the trophy case, or in the trophy case on the mantle. Gosh, words today. It was a long day. Cratron with 90 points. Fear the Fun with 83. Drex with 80. 72 for Onion with Too Many Eyes. SFM Darkster has dropped down to 67. SFM Darkster, if you remember, in week number 1, had some issues. In week number 1 with an incident out at Sonoma. Was not able to get a good deal of points there. I'm not entirely sure if I should have looked at the points total coming out of week number 2 to see if SFM Darkster was even a participant. That might explain why Darkster has the 67 points. And as I take a look at the lobby, SFM Darkster is not in there at the moment. So will we see the Darkster here in week 3? TBD. Mortismo with 66 points. That's tied with Cuda 93. And then Patches Riley rounds out the top 10 with 64. Then you got Slow Motion Fire starting the next round of 10 there off to the right-hand side. So there you go. That's the points total picture as they stand coming into tonight's action with the drop week rule in effect. So this is not total points, but championship points. What we have here tonight is a trio of Italian representation. We've got the 2 tracks, the Mugello Autodromo Internazionale, the full circuit, 15 laps. Yes, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole track, nothing omitted there. 15 laps around the full circuit versus last season where we were only on the short track out at Mugello. Then the Autodromo Nazionale Monza for 15 laps as well. That'll be our second race of the evening. And the third part of that trio would be the Abarth 695, the Fiat Abarth 695, which is the vehicle. So very Italian here tonight. I should have just done Italian music off the top of the broadcast. Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca and Road America. I'm really looking forward to that one. I've already called my shot that race number. What would that be? Race number 7 of the season out there at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca is going to be the best one. I'm just telling you right now. Road America full, that will be a good one. 13 laps. They decided to go all out with some of these full tracks here in season 45 versus short circuits, although there are a few of the shorter circuits on the agenda there. Coming out of this here, week number 3, coming out of week 2, which was out at Spa. Unfortunately missed that one, 12 laps in the dark. That's the one that AMS Huracan happened to win. And then LS Subaru was able to come back in the Watkins Glen full circuit alternate for 15 laps and get that victory. So there you go. There is the rest of the schedule. We've looked at the points tally. What else is there to do? Well, I've got a predictor going. Who do you think is going to come out as the top qualifier? The best qualifying time at Mugello. Cast your vote using your channel points. You've got, looks like 8 minutes and 45 seconds or so to cast that vote. Man, I swear that was at 8 minutes and 45 seconds, like forever ago. We've got 3 folks making up 66% of the channel points wagered, saying that somebody else will qualify as best out here at Mugello, and then 35% of the channel points wagered, or 2 of you, saying that LS Subaru will have the top qualifying time. Now, this is very, very exciting because of the fact that AMS Huracan has shown the ability to get out in front of LS Subaru, and we saw that in week number 1 out at Sonoma, followed by the race at Sebring. Unfortunately for Huracan, he was just not able to hold on to it. Was able to get the victory there in race number 3 at Spa. So, if AMS Huracan can continue to apply that pressure and get another victory or 2 here tonight, that will bode well for him in the final 2 weeks of the season for a shot at that championship. He cannot come out of tonight's racing without a victory. Cannot. Otherwise, that starts to build that spread between he and LS Subaru. So, interesting and exciting stuff here about to unfold, on top of the fact that next week we've got Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. So, cool stuff. Let's see. Here in the chat, we've got Slow Motion Fire saying hello. AMS Huracan saying only because he ran out of fuel. Oh, really? So, only because LS Subaru ran out of fuel out at Spa did AMS Huracan get that victory. The Fiats go home, says Slow Motion Fire. That's right. They've returned to the motherland. Italy. Go the Abarth 695s. All right, I'll spectate. We are now at the top of the hour, so any moment now we're going to hear from, not hear from Slow Motion Fire, but we'll see there in the chat that we are ready for qualifying, and they'll get the lobby loaded in. 15 drivers currently loaded in. Mortismo, Patches, Riley, Old Man, Baby Body, Beer 98G, Modern Weapon, Slow Motion Fire, Fear the Fun, Gumby Greg, LS Subaru, Audrex, Unku, AMS Huracan, Kuda, Kratrium, and Dark Sir has made it into the lobby to participate here tonight. All right. Good to be back. Feels good to be back in the saddle again, so to speak. Yes, I did stream on Sunday for those who tune in for the Snow Runner Sunday streams. I'll have another Snow Runner stream coming up here on on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So feel free to tune in then and root me on as I drive the trucks around the mud, the muck, and the mire of SnowRunner and try not to get stuck. Pushing Porsche says, where can I join in? Well, good question. Head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. All the details are posted there, everything you need to know. Reach out to Slow Motion Fire and let them know that you'd like to participate, and we hope to see you here in week number 4, a week from tonight. All right, here we go. The racing, or at least the qualifying, is underway out here at Mugello. It's going to be CUDA 93 in the Oreo car. A lovely, lovely Oreo car. Real World Businesses was the theme for the liveries here in Season 45, and sure, not all of them have carried out that theme here, but at least CUDA 93 has done a very good job. The Oreo car getting around. That is a green number plate, number 68. Green number plates signify drivers who have been with the Forza Spec Racing Series for at least one season. Drivers who have an orange number plate and Pushing Porsche, if that happens to be you next week or perhaps in Season 46, an orange number plate will go to you to signify that you are new to the series. Mortismo says, good luck, have fun, everyone. Let's race. DWM Frog, liking the Oreo design. I know, it makes me hungry. I haven't even had dinner yet. I got home from work, got all gussied up in the, the sport jacket, and got my coffee poured, and that was it. I've got tacos waiting for me after the race. Here comes SFM Darkser rolling up the hill in the Tide Pods car. I just call it the Tide Pods car. I know it's not a Tide Pod car, but you know what? To me, the Tide Pod car sounds cool. And the illegal number plate, by the way. The illegal Super 8 Motel number plate. Would love to join you guys next week. I reached out to... There you go. You done did everything that you can do there, Pushing Porsche. So if you're willing to stick around and watch the racing, that'll be awesome. And then, of course, let your friends know and perhaps maybe some folks that you race with and say, hey, come join me with this Forza Spec thing that they've got going on. Here comes SFM Darkser out of that final left-hander. It's a big, swooping left-hander. Not only is it taking a long time, you're holding on to the wheel, pulling the car to the left, but you're also going downhill, trying to carry that momentum here across the line. End of lap number 1. And now the first flying lap for our drivers here in the 3 laps of qualifying. We'll take a look at the stats here in the bottom left, which has Amos Huracan currently the quickest time at 2:09.840. And I don't know why. I swear I started that predictor like a long time ago and had it set to finish a long time ago, and yet it looks like it's still going. Yeah, that that predictor might have to be canceled. Forget it. Who cares? Who cares, right? Let's go to Mortismo, currently with the 4th quickest time. Cincy made Breingeist. Looks like mild ale is what I'm seeing over the wheel well. So I guess it's a beer, an ale. Here comes Mortismo now through the downhill chicane. Another tricky one because you're carrying a lot of speed coming through the right-hander, entering the downhill portion of that, and it's very, very easy to run wide. Or at least it is for me. At least it is for me. 280 horsepower, 275 foot-pounds of torque, 1,923 pounds of vehicle curb weight brings it in at B600 here in Forza Motorsport 7. Man, I wish we knew when the new Forza Motorsport title is coming out. I wish. I'm jonesing for a new game here, a new title. Thank you, Pushing Porsche, for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the little corner of Twitch here that we've etched out. Audrex with the chalk livery. Going to come across the line, and I don't think Audrex will have the quickest time out there, but will move up with the third quickest time. And you see Patches Riley, who's right out in front of them. Yes, they have the ghosted ability on, so there's not going to be any contact between these two as Audrex goes ahead and pulls right into his silhouette. But Patches Riley has dropped down to 7th quickest qualifying time as they get through the first chicane here. First S out at Mugello. Then they'll have the second, and then they'll have the downhill version. Lots of S's here at Mugello. Very quick track, and one that I think hosted its first Formula One race last year. I hosted a retro Formula One race back in my back when I used to host events in the virtual Autosport years of the channel. I think a lot of people hated me after that event. This is the old-timey 60s, or was it? No, it was actually the 80s Formula One cars, so not too far back. But a handful, those cars. Here comes the duo of Cratrium and Audrex, who are running 3rd and 4th, respectively, in terms of top qualifying time. Not often do we see the drivers... actually, I take that back. Cuda 93 there as the 8th qualifying time. I don't know why I said Audrex. That is Cuda. I know why I said Audrex, because I looked at the order in which drivers have qualified at this point, and Audrex was 4th. How long have they been running this series? They've been running this Forza Spec Racing Series dating back to the Forza Motorsport 4 years. And I believe the year would have been 2013. And across the line goes LS Subaru, who, as it stands right now, does in fact have the top qualifying time at a 2:04.473. I've been commentating the series for about 3 years now, with a few breaks in between. I've missed what, 3 or 4 seasons over the last 3 years, I think. All right, they're going to get out of the lobby. We'll take a look at the qualifying times, and then we'll revisit the scoreboard, just for anybody who's joining us at this point in time. All right, let me go ahead and turn off the volume here, make it easier, as that the crowd noise can be a little loud. Cratrum with a 2:06.622. Cuda with a 2:07.4, a 2:06.3 there for Fear the Fun. SFM Darkster with a 2:07.6. 2:05.1. Not going to be quite good enough for pole. That'll put AMS Huracan, though, on row number 1, P2. Audrex with a 2:06.797. Patches Riley with a 2:07.584. Gumby Greg with a 2:12.5. Old Man Baby Body. I just feel wrong saying that gamer tag every time. 2:08.304. LS Subaru with a 2:04.4. Muertismo with a 2:06.6. Unku with a 2:07.1. 2:12.7 there for Modern Weapon, a 2:11 for Beer, and Slow Motion Fire with a 2:09.0. Amazingly, no dirty lap qualifying times. Everybody was able to eke out a clean qualifying time. Well done. Well done. For those of you who said that LS Subaru was going to be our top qualifier here, congratulations. You are correct. Go ahead and pay that one out. Let's get another predictor rolling here real quick before I flip on over to the scoreboard. Let's get another predictor here. Will LS Subaru win at Mugello? Yes or no? We'll go ahead and let's give a good 20 minutes on that. Well, yeah, let's do 15. Let's do 15 to be safe. I was a little overzealous with the amount of time I gave y'all last go around, and I don't want to risk that happening. again. Welcome to my broadcast booth, otherwise known as my house here in Central Colorado. Great to have you tuned in. Hopefully you're having a great week. It is Tuesday. Virusdot says, soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum one day. When the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Huh. We get the pirate shanties from Virusdots now and again, and there you go. There's one. Let's go ahead and pull up the standings here. Coming out of week number 2. What's up there, engineer? How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the broadcast. I try. All right, so there's a look at your standings. I'm going to go ahead and have those pulled up while I bring into the driver's spotlight, a thing we like to do here on the broadcast to give you all a chance to hear from some of the drivers. We've got none other than a very familiar voice here in the driver's spotlight. Fear the Fun. How you doing? How was the qualifying out at Mugello?
Okay, I'm living. It was good. Qualifying was good. I got third place. And plus, you love me. I'm the best voice around here besides yourself.
Wow, and you prefaced all this by saying that you're living, so that's good.
Yeah, I got some shoulder pain going on right now, so
is
just
that
getting by.
Will that affect the steering at all, or is it more just a pain that's just there? It doesn't affect the controlling at all.
It's just the right shoulder. It's not important. It's just throttle. That's it. That's all you got to worry about. Throttle and upshifts and downshifts.
I'm gonna put you on the disabled list here, or at least the injured list. Fear the Fun with an injured shoulder. How did we? Let me ask you from your vantage point there, coming out of week number 2, you've got 83 points, which puts you 4th overall on the leaderboard. How did things go at Spa and at Watkins Glen?
Spa was pretty good. Why did I say I think? I was there. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It wasn't a bad track. It was at night, of course, and being that I am the visually impaired one, I think I got 4th that race.
Okay.
So it was good. Watkins Glen, I don't know. I got disconnected from because AMD dislikes Forza. So
as that sometimes happens, we can only say that that's just like some sort of the equivalent of a mechanical error in the real world. So tell us, you didn't, but somebody told us, I think it was maybe SFM Darkster, who said, hey, the only reason I won in the 3rd race of the season was because LS Subaru ran out of fuel. We saw the fuel situation there in week number 1. This here at Mugello is a pretty lengthy track. What do you have to prepare for in terms of fuel strategy here for this race, the 5th on the schedule?
About this track specifically, there have been people that are saying it's close. I know the next track, unless your name is LS Subaru, you're gonna have to pit.
Okay, so there you go. You heard it from Fear the Fun saying that a pit stop will be necessary. And there's an extra driver. Another driver has jumped into the mix. It looks like ISU Nicky Bobby is now racing here, week number 3, race number 1 of the evening. Couple of Italian tracks, Mugello and then Monza. How do you think you'll fare here in week number 3? Fear the Fun.
I do good. I qualified 3rd, which surprised me. I don't qualify in front of CT ever. And now I'm in 3rd behind Subaru and Huracan in front of CT and Darkster. This is like the Twilight Zone. I shouldn't be here.
Do you little tiny Abarth 695? Do you extend the wheel width of the vehicle and maybe keep people from passing you? A little defensive maneuvering, huh?
No, I'll probably roll myself over before I try to defend anything. This thing likes to 2-wheel like nobody's business.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes. Fear the Fun, thank you, and best of luck here, race number 1 of the evening.
Thanks, have a good event.
You too. All right, there we go. All the drivers are readied up, and, except for LS Unku, who will surely be readied up here in just a moment as Fear the Fun returns to the lobby and gets them all ready to go here out in Mugello. It's going to be a fun one. Like I said, out in not out in, but in season 44, we were at Mugello. It was the short track, so I'm glad to see that somebody opted to have the full circuit in play here, season 45. And just quickly doing a real quick checkup on some stream stuff. And everything looks to be all ready to go. Sorry, I just realized I didn't have something going. It was the replay. We want the replay capabilities, right? We want those. Let's head out onto the racetrack here. First race of the evening. Following qualifying, LS Subaru on pole. Amos Huracan joins them there on row number 1 in P2. And then you see Cratrim and Fear the Fun there in row number 3. Or excuse me, in row number 2. Did I say? No, I said Huracan was P2. Yes, Cratrim and Fear the Fun, P3, P4, P3 respectively on row number 2. All right, here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. Week number 3. Forza Spec Racing Series Season 45 is underway, and LS Subaru, who won the pole position out of qualifying, leads them into turn number 1, up the hill through the right-hander, and back there in second, kind of pulling some really, well, I think maybe Amos Huracan was realigning his entry point there into turn number 1. That, or perhaps he had Fear the Fun up along the side of his car and had to do a little bit of strategic maneuvering himself, but Amos Huracan maintains that P2 position off the starting grid. Into the first set of S's here out at Mugello. We've got mostly cloudy skies. Makes for a great skybox. There is no chance of rain on this track whatsoever here in Forza Motorsport 7, and nor can it be nighttime. So it is always like this here, or sometimes a little bit more overcast. As they come rolling down the hill, you see the whole train of 695s, and everybody looks to get through cleanly. Doesn't seem to be any issues all the way back there. 16 cars starting out on the track. Fear the Fun is in 3rd. Cratrim is in 4th. Audrex is in 5th. Muertismo in 6th. Then it's Unku, Kuda, Darkser, and Patches Riley 7th through 10th. Engineer says, did LS Subaru have a previous gamer tag, or has it always been that name? Good question. I don't know. Usually LS Subaru joins us here in the driver's spotlight post-race, so I will ask. Virus Dot says, I'm waiting for that infamous bump in the corner that I always manage to get when racing here with these guys. Cough, cough, Patches. A little bump in the corner, eh? Perhaps something that may get a couple of tires off the ground here for the 695, weighing just 1,923 pounds. Down the hill they come for the conclusion of lap number 1 of 15. Here at Mugello, LS Subaru continues to hold on to the lead. And with Fear the Fun telling us that pit strategy is going to come to play here in race number 1 of the evening, we'll see when drivers decide to go ahead and get topped off on fuel. Certainly here on lap number 1 would not be well advised. Cratrim still hanging on to P4 there with Fear the Fun, who was pretty ecstatic about the fact that he qualified out in front of C-Tom, previously known as C-Tom, now known as Cratrim. And Fear the Fun, it will lead Cratrim, as well as Audrex, who's in 5th, Muertismo, who's back there in 6th, and then Unku in 7th. And then, of course, as is often the case, we've got this large batch of drivers here about mid-pack. We'll start to see that stretch out a little bit as the drivers who are typically the back end of this long train of cars, the caboose, we'll start to see them fall back a little bit and become back markers. Doesn't matter. You race your own race, no matter how quick or how slow you are, as long as you race clean, you're always welcome to participate here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. Back up the hill here for the second time out at Mugello, the opposite end of the track. The backside of the track here is SFM Darkster in that Tide Pod car. SFM Darkster not getting a great qualifying position. We'll see how many positions he's able to make up here before the end of this race. Let's go back up to Audrex in 5th position. Is fuel depletion on or off, asks Engineer. It is on. They have simulation damage turned on, so not only will there be fuel depletion, there will be tire degradation. That's not really been an issue with these cars, however, throughout the first couple of weeks, so I don't expect it to be an issue here today. and then also vehicle damage should you collide with another driver or with any of the environmental obstacles and sustain damage that way. Here comes Krejcim to the low line. Fear the Fawn on the outside. Krejcim's got the opportunity to make a pass here, and he does. Krejcim now up into the top 3, at least for now, and knocking on the door in 5th is Audrex. Iris Dot saying, I want to set up a Miata endurance competition in the offseason. One of these days, a good few hours of racing on track. Yeah, I've actually hosted a Mazda Cup type race out at... oh, there goes Krejcim locking up the brakes there. You see the front discs glowing on all the cars, but Krejcim perhaps locking them up especially so. A lot of smoke out the back of the 695 and able to hold on to 3rd. Yeah, I hosted a Mazda Cup race. That was a lot of fun. They always are. Like, I don't know. There's just something about a track day car, even in the virtual world. They're so good. So good. All right, we got a nice 4-way battle here for 3rd. Audrex in 5th. Martismo a little bit further behind. And Kuda 93 there in 7th. Not far behind. As you see there, Kuda in the foreground. Our race leader, LS Subaru, holding on to the top spot. With AMS Huracan not too far behind, about a car and a half length lead there for LS Subaru. So engineers saying, man, Subaru is leaving the field behind. Yeah, this is pretty typical of these two, but this will be a battle to watch, especially with pit strategy being a factor. Downshift there by Huracan as he, and Subaru, who we've got the camera on, entering that final left-hander. Back toward the start-finish line, just going to watch as they pass by the pit lane entry. Both drivers opting to stay out. Let's go ahead and drop back to Audrex once again. A little bit more thinned out from 3rd on back to 6th. That's okay. You never know. The slightest mistake, the smallest lapse of concentration or judgment can really change this in a big way. So a little bit of air, a little bit of room to breathe for each of these drivers, but don't be surprised if we don't see a grouping come back together here as we get through the final laps of the race. 16 laps in these cars is pretty long. It's actually about this race is actually 15 laps. That 16th lap that you see in the upper left, that's just a cool down lap. So it is 15 laps, but that's pretty typical. That results in about a 45-minute to 60-minute race here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, which is a bit, that's right on par. That's right on par. About 2 hours each Tuesday is what you can expect if you participate in the action. You get qualifying, then a race, then you get another qualifying round in a second race at a different location. 2 races each evening, with the exception being week number 5, which is a little bit more of an endurance event at one location. Here in season 45, that happens to be out at Mount Panorama. Mount Panorama here for season 45's finale. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your foes. Come hang out with us here on a Tuesday evening. If you're enjoying the content, please click that follow button. Lets me know that you are enjoying your time here. And I'll be happy to give you a nice little shout out. We've got the air wrench for those of you who decide to follow. And for anybody who goes above and beyond with a subscription, either through your Twitch Prime sub or with a paid monetary sub to the channel, you get yourself a pit siren and nice little special shout out, but more importantly, you get ad-free viewing, some emotes, and yeah, that's all I can offer you. I'm Dustin Moore. Glad to have you here on a Tuesday evening. Glad to be back after a little bit of a break there in week number 2. I'll be live for the remainder of the season here. Week number 4 coming at you a week from tonight. Same bat time, same bat channel. and then 2 weeks from tonight for the finale. Here comes Cratrium, who claimed third position and is starting to establish some separation, which is pretty typical. We usually see Cratrium rack up the distance between himself and fourth, and then does the best that he can do to try to catch up to the front runners, which currently is still LS Subaru and AMS Huracan. AMS Huracan sporting the tender livery. There you go. Pushing Porsche asks, what in your opinion makes what in your opinion from your perspective has made LS Subaru such a dominating contender? It's a great question. LS Subaru is relatively new to the Forza franchise, has made it clear that, hey, I haven't been around that long, but obviously has been very quick to get the attention of some teams, and is a part of the Alien Motorsports team, or excuse me, that's Huracan. LS Subaru, part of the Light Sports team, formerly known as the Light Sports Esports, gosh, what was it? Light Sports Endurance Motorsports team? LSEM, now just LS. But, yeah, I don't know. You just never... Subaru has told us that, it's just one of those things that kind of that inherent skill set, I suppose. Good eye-hand coordination, has a feel for tuning here in Forza Motorsport, and that's really, it's kind of the complete package. Not only must you understand the general concepts of racing and how to be quick around the track, but then you also there is an element here in the Forza Spec Racing Series where you could tune up your own car to be as friendly to your style of racing, your style of driving as possible. You know those tweaks, you know those adjustments, you know that if your car is understeering, oversteering, is a little bit too bouncy, perhaps it's not bouncy enough, you know how to make those adjustments. Fear not if those are not is not a skill set that you possess, because the Forza Spec Racing Series considers itself a beer league, which has drivers of all different skill levels. There are a lot of drivers who are very happy to help you out with the tuning setup, either by sharing theirs or giving you some tips and tricks on what to do to try to get your car where you'd like it. Here comes Fear the Fun, who started out in P3, has fallen back a couple of spots to P5. He already told us that, hey, it's going to be very difficult to hold off the likes of Cratrium and Muertismo, and as we see already, those two have gotten by. Now Fear the Fun has got a nice little battle here with the very formidable, very consistent, and a driver that certainly is very capable of making the move around Fear the Fun, Audrex. And as we near the halfway point in this race, we're going to have to see the drivers commit to making a pit stop. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle information here of Fear the Fun. 57% fuel, so we have not hit the halfway mark. The fuel tank is approaching the halfway mark. This is one of those situations where really your driving style could dictate your need for a pit stop. And if that means that others don't have to pit, oh, that means trouble is what that is. That's that good old TROUBLE. You don't want to be one of the odd men out in terms of a pit stop. If other drivers can manage their driving style to run this race on a full tank of fuel, you better figure it out as well. Better figure it out as well. Here comes Fear the Fun, closing in on a Muertismo slightly. Muertismo in fourth position. You see Cratrium there pulling further and further away, is going to do this lap after lap. That's what Cratrium does. I was applauding Audrex's consistency, but perhaps even more consistent is Cratrium. Longtime racer in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Cratrium actually possesses the most championships of any driver who's ever competed in the 45 seasons of FM4. Let's go back up to AMS Huracan, who is starting to fall back a little bit here. We see, I don't know, maybe a tenth or two off the pace here of LS Subaru. There was about, about 4 or 5 tenths between them coming out of qualifying. And so as you can imagine, with each lap that passes, if LS Subaru has that same pace, then yeah, this lead's just going to further expand here. And let's see what's going to happen here as they near the pit lane entry. Both Subaru and Huracan are going to stick it out. All right, the predictor has closed up. Will LS Subaru win at Mugello? 64% of you who cast your channel points say that yes, LS Subaru is going to win, whereas 2 of you, with 36% of your channel points, or 36% of the total channel points wagered, say that no, LS Subaru is not going to win this one. Let's go back behind CUDA 93 here. We've got a 3 or possibly even a 4-way battle. Oh my gosh, look at this. We've got SFM Darkster in the middle line. Patches Riley looking to the low side. There's Slow Motion Fire. Then you've got Old Man Baby Body, and behind that, behind him is going to be LS Unku. So not a 4-way, but a 5-way battle here for 8th. I mean, really, if you know yourself not to be the quickest driver out on the track here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, if you find yourself racing in this gaggle right here, you're doing damn good. I know, they've got number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 over their cars next to their gamer tags, but I assure you, these are quick drivers. Very quick drivers. Let's go ahead and run through the field here. LS Subaru, our race leader. AMS Huracan able to close that gap a little bit. Cratrim in 3rd, racing on his own little island. Mortismo in 4th. Fear the Fun is in 5th. Audrex and Kuda in 6th and 7th, respectively. Then it is that 5-car grouping of Darkser, Patches Riley, Slow Motion Fire, Old Man Baby Body, LS Unku, 8 through 12. Then it's Modern Weapon in 13th position. Beer 98 in 14th. 15th is Gumby Greg, and Nicky Bobby rounds out the, or is at the back of the train here, the caboose, in 18th position. Pardon me, 16th position. Oh, we've got a car. Well, we've got, looks like Patches Riley maybe getting a little bit of a bump there from LS Unku. LS Unku is going to move up a spot. And now we've got 4 cars trying to chase down Darkser. Let's go ahead and move back there to LS Unku in 11th position at this point. Cree says, this game is still so good. I tell you what, man. Yes, it is an old... In terms of the Forza Motorsport cycle, when we usually get Forza Motorsport games... Oh, and there goes to the low line. That's going to be Old Man Baby Body. A couple of tires off into the grass. That puts him into the driver, or the passenger door panel of Patches Riley. So Patches Riley now falling back to 12th position. LS Unku stays in 11th with Old Man Baby Body moving up to 10th. And so that was an interesting tactic going into turn number 1. And now here they come into the S's to the inside, at least through the first part of the S's, Unku. Then Old Man Baby Body grabs the apex, but here comes Unku on the low side coming up to the right-hander on the downhill S. He's going to have the advantage here. Yeah, that's going to force Old Man Baby Body to slow it down a little bit off into the grass once again, able to keep the car. Oh, man, how he keeps that car composed, I don't understand. Oh, and Old Man Baby Body was going to try for it again, coming uphill. What a battle we have. It was a 5-way battle for 8th, but now it is a 3-way battle here for 10th position. And right now, it's going to be LS Unku, who is the front runner of the 3. Baby Body back there in 11th, and 12th is Patches Riley. Slow Motion Fire is like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get away from y'all. I'm getting out. I'm getting out of here. I'm out. What I was saying that, yes, while we typically have had we're almost to the point where we could have had 2 Forza Motorsport titles in the span of the time it takes from Forza Motorsport 7 to the next Forza Motorsport title to release. That being said, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that good stuff, that Turn 10 Studios is doing their darndest to make sure that the next racing game that they produce, that they put out there, is definitively one of the best that they've ever produced. And I tell you, after what ended up being a disappointing release for Gran Turismo, the ball, Turn 10, the ball, the tire is in your court, is on your track. Make it happen. Let's get a good racing game here. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait, but at the same time, I can wait because I just want it to be good. Exciting racing, says DWM Frog. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's go up to AMS Huracan, who again has fallen back a little bit here to the leader, LS Subaru. Let's see. Let me get through the comments here. I see the clips of the new Gran Turismo. I still think Forza is better as far as actual gameplay. Yeah, Kaz and team at Polyphony Digital have really they had a golden opportunity here, and I think they squandered it. I agree. I just can't believe it. I thought for sure I would be playing Gran Turismo when it released. I waited, and I've seen the community's kind of uproar about how crazy some of the progression system, it just everything, it's just so much. Even the races are not even races. It's still that chase the rabbit stuff. I don't understand. By the way, here's Fear the Fun in 5th, the Alitalia car. Gosh, what else do we have here? Car selection as well, says Cree. Yeah, car selection, I think Forza Motorsport 7 still wins that competition. Gran Turismo only having, what, 350 some cars, kind of surprising. You looking for a co-commentator to join you in the season for a booth? Possibly Virus Thoughts. I mean, if you're looking to do that versus racing, by all means, reach out to me. We can chat it over. Here comes Mortismo for the start of lap 11 here, and we take a look at Mortismo's vehicle situation. 34% left in the fuel tank, so I think they'll actually be able to make it all the way. Fear the Fun, who suggested that he was going to need a pit stop. That might be down to Fear the Fun's driving style. So let's go take a look at it. Fear the Fun in 5th position. And as we look, yeah, considerably different from 37% from Mortismo, 25% here, Fear the Fun. So just goes to show that it's not just what the car gets on average, but it is obviously your driving style factors in. That I do appreciate that Turn 10 was able to implement here in this title was fuel degradation or depletion based on how much of that throttle you're mashing. All right, so LS Subaru is our leader. AMS Huracan in 2nd, Cratrum in 3rd, Mortismo in 4th, Fear the Fun in 5th, Audrex is 6th, Cuda 93 in 7th, SFM Darkser in 8th, Slow Motion Fire in 9th. That's where we're going to go to next. And Unku comes into the picture as well. We've got a 3-way battle once again for 8th. Here comes Slow Motion Fire, looking to the outside. Oh, and now we're going to have them going side by side by side. Coming into the right-hander, SFM Darkster is going to take the middle line. Slow Motion Fire to the low line. LS Unku goes ahead and drops it back to the back bumper, trying to look for that right opportunity. We'll see if it comes to fruition here at this very sharp couple of corners right here. This S is probably one of the more challenging ones. It's on a flat ground, but yes, you mess up the entry or the exit, and you're going into the green. And both of them, or all three of them, keep it on the tarmac. And thank you, Cree, for the follow. Much appreciated. Down the hill they come, 8th, 9th, 10th, and wouldn't you know it, we've got old man Baby Body back there in 11th and into pit lane. SFM Darkster, you see Fear the Fun, Cuda 93, Slow Motion Fire. So a whole grouping of cars going into pit lane. And that could be That could be the nail in the coffin for a lot of these drivers, because I just don't see the likes of Cratrium, 25% fuel with 5 laps remaining. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very, very close. Hang tight, folks. Strap in. Don't go anywhere. We've got more racing to come after this. We're heading out to Monza. Yes, it is the trifecta of Italy here tonight. Mugello, Monza, the Fiat Abarth 695. And it's a Tuesday. Where the heck else are you going to go? Seriously. Appreciate the follows here tonight. The level of engagement. Oh, and by the way, Manny R. Angel, Manny R. Angel, thank you so much for the follow as well. I apologize for missing that one, as I was probably shouting and couldn't hear the air wrench thingamajig. But thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, the engagement, the viewership has been on a strong uptick in recent weeks, and this after me having been out the last week, not able to broadcast week number 2. I promise you, I'll be here for week 4 and 5, all the way to name ourselves a Season 45 champion. Across the line goes AMS Huracan, who's a bit further behind LS Subaru here into turn number 1, start of lap number 13. And let me see, we've got some folks putting some thoughts here regarding the fuel. Is that fuel percentage what's left or what has been used? That is what is left in the fuel tank. That is what remains. And we take a look at Mortismo, who's down to 20. I'm telling you, Mortismo, Cratrium, if the math in my head, and I tell you, I'm not a math person, but the math in my head says that these two drivers can make it all the way. This is incredible. This is incredible. The difference between driving styles and what that means for pit strategy here in race number 5 of the season. I wish all the cars were like this. I wish all of them brought this same level of strategy required for each and every race, because we saw it in week number 1. We're seeing it again here. Perhaps we'll see it out at Monza again. We most certainly will have it out at Mount Panorama for the finale. That's no question. But, and then next week, out at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. Following that race up with Road America, that one, I can almost guarantee will require pit stops out there at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. All right, back into the big left-hander for the 13th time here tonight. It is AMS Huracan there in second, just waiting to see if LS Subaru will make a mistake, and I'll hang tight here as they go by pit lane. I don't expect them to stop. I think they're staying out for the entirety of this race. They just have the right style of driving, and perhaps maybe even a little bit of a tune. I don't know. I mean, I suppose maybe you could do something with the tune to help you out on the fuel situation. Let's go to 4th with Mortismo here. Engineer says, and after Huracan closed so quickly on him in the early, LS Subaru has a tendency to do that. He kind of lures you in and then just gone. Says, yeah, he thought so. I think not. Across the line goes Mortismo. And here we are on the penultimate lap, number 14 of 15. Yes, that 16th lap that you see there, that will not actually be a racing lap. So disregard that. This is the penultimate. We'll have one more after. We're going to jump back real quick here to Slow Motion Fire, who's fallen back to 12th position. Now sees the back bumper of SFM Darkster, Old Man Baby Body there in 13th position. Here comes Slow Motion Fire, who's been very aggressive this race. And oh, look at that. As SFM Darkster coming off of the rumble strip, kind of wiggling there toward the passenger side panel of Slow Motion Fire, and down the stretch they come side by side, heading into turn number 1. Old Man Baby Body, you can imagine, is just sitting there just rubbing the hands together like, oh, you guys make a mistake, do something silly here. SFM Darks are way down low, Slow Motion Fire actually way up high. Slow Motion Fire Perhaps a little bit late on the braking. That's going to allow Old Man Baby Body to creep up on the outside here as they come through the chicane for the 14th time. The white flag will come down as LS Subaru makes that final left-hander back toward the start-finish line. Krejcim has a good, I want to say insurmountable lead, but of course anything can happen here on the final lap. In third, Mortismo is fourth, Audrex in fifth, Patches Riley in sixth, Fear the Fun in seventh, Kuda 93 in eighth, Modern Weapon in ninth, Unku in 10th. I tell you, those pit stops. Oh, and there goes Old Man Baby Body off the track into the dirt. Going to go ahead and make some sandcastles out there before returning out onto the raceway. And yes, the white flag has dropped there for LS Subaru coming across the line. The pit stops have really thinned out the field here, or spread them out, I should say. Didn't thin them out. We still have all 16 cars who started. That's lovely. Love to see it. Love to see it. All 16 drivers who started this race still making their way around Mugello. Front drops down there on SFM Darkser on the heavy braking, entering the right-hander, another horseshoe. There's a lot of S's, a lot of hairpins / horseshoes out here at Mugello. Very quick pacing track, and then you sometimes, not all the times, bring the cars not a screeching halt, but slow them down considerably. And now SFM Darkster in slow motion getting ready to start their final lap here of the evening. What an exciting race! You look at the map right now and you go, what are you talking about, Dustin? Everybody's just everywhere. But really, it was the pitch strategy that factored in so hugely here that has resulted in what you see in the lower left. Otherwise, the racing has been very, very close. Maybe not so much between first and second of Subaru and Huracan, although they've been much closer than they are now. But a lot there. A lot of close racing from 8th on back to about 12th or 13th. Mugello. Need more Jello. Welcome to Vise69. Thank you so much for jumping into the chat. Mugello. Jello. It's alive. All right, camera on our race leader. LS Subaru is going to come across the line, and for the 4th time here in season 45, LS Subaru is your victor. Going to pick up 50 points here in race number 5, and unfortunately, we've got the loading screen. Did we lose somebody on the very last lap? Did I jinx it for us? MS Huracan is going to come across in 2nd. Krejcim looks to grab 3rd. Mortismo in 4th. Audrex in 5th. Patches Riley in 6th. Let's go to LS Unku in 10th position. And has only got a few more corners remaining here to try to make a pass on Modern Weapon for 9th. Oh, yeah. By all means, lurk away. Yeah, I love it when folks come in here and say hello, and even if that means that, hey, I'm going to go back into lurking mode, that's cool. I appreciate the hello. That way I know that, like, the viewership that I have here is not just like bots. Just bots watching cars go around the track. Modern Weapon into the final corner. Looks to be able to secure 9th position. I think he's got it. LS Unku says, okay, fine. I'll give you some smoke here. A little bit of sliding coming out of that final corner. He's got to be careful, though. He's got SFM Darkster not too far behind there in 11th position. Slow Motion Fire will pick up 12th. Old Man Baby Body is going to secure 13th. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little break here. I'm going to fill up the coffee. The racing is not over. Don't leave. If you leave, you're doing it wrong. I'm just telling you, I'm taking a quick break, going to get some coffee. I'm going to take note of where everybody finished here. For those of you who are subscribers to the channel, congratulations. I'm going to play some music for you. Make those emotes dance there in the chat. You guys did a phenomenal job back in week number 1. Just spam the chat with emotes. They'll dance all over the screen. And for those of you who are not subscribers to the channel, well, you're going to see some ads. But please, 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 hear me out. There's only 2 times in this broadcast that I run ads through the span of 2 hours. And the only reason I do it is so that while I'm doing nothing here on the stream, those who come in a little bit later, they can jump right into the action. Because you all watch the ads, that means the pre-rolls go away heading into the next race. So I very much appreciate it. And beyond that, of course, it brings support to the channel. everything in terms of the proceeds that this channel yields after Twitch takes its very generous cut, I put right back into the broadcast in the form of production stuff, paying for licenses for music and all that. So do know that it helps out immensely, whether you're a sub or whether you're just a follower who watches the ads. It all means a lot to me. And thanks for being here. Good start to the night. It continues. We got race number 2 out at Monza coming up right after this. You're watching the Forza Spec Racing Series, season number 45, week number 3. I'm Dustin Moore, Xventure. I'll be right back. Emotes are dancing! The goats! The Bob Rosses! The Harry Careys! How about yours truly? And the minty fresh emote. Yeah. 25 seconds. Make it count! 25 seconds! Go, go, go! Spam them all! No? No? Alright, fine. And bring everybody back from an ad. And you get to have no more fun with the emotes. Welcome back, Twitch TV. Dustin Moore. Got myself topped off on coffee. Not that I really need it, because it was damn exciting racing, but man, I think more so for the mouth. It's not parched. If I get to drink the coffee, that's the whole point of it. How is the coffee? It's as good as it can be. I really don't drink coffee that much, so it does the trick. Tuesday evening. What a lovely Tuesday evening. A little cold here in central Colorado. I hope wherever you are, you're staying safe, particularly those maybe who are down south. The crazy springtime weather that's going on over there. Hopefully, again, you're staying safe. And for everybody else, hopefully your week's going well. The final full week of March as we roll into April here over the weekend. Right? Or wait, no, I did this last time. Where I said that we've got April. We got a whole nother week. Never mind. I take it back. April 1st is not until Friday of next week. High of 86 degrees there in Los Angeles. Oh, there you go. Beach weather. Get out to the beach. Get out to the beach. All right, race number 1 of the evening has completed. And in the driver's spotlight, we've got Modern Weapon joining us. Modern Weapon, I think you guys were really quick on the end of race celebratory festivities out there. I think I took note of you finishing in 5th, maybe?
No, I finished in eighth.
Oh, I'm going to say 5th. I'm going to give you the points for 5th. You can squabble it out with slow motion
Perfect.
fire.
That puts me ahead of Patches. That's what really matters. And slow.
I believe you were part of the larger group that went into pit lane, yes?
I did not.
You did not. Okay, so
I was hanging around probably 13th, 14th, and the making up to 8th what got me, or no pits what got me way up top there. So that was definitely a hot setup for this race.
I'm glad you said that. So did you know going into this race that you'd be okay, or was it one of those things that as we went further along in the race and with your driving style, you're like, hey, I'm going to be good?
In practice, it was right around the cutoff. I think you need like 6.6% per lap, and I was like right around like 6.7 consumption. So I figured just get off the gas a little early in a couple corners, and third of the way through, I was like at 68%. So I knew I was good if I didn't get into a race with somebody.
That's probably one of the coolest dynamic things that we've seen in one of these Forza Spec Racing Series races, where your driving style definitely dictates whether or not you're able to go the distance in this thing, or you're going to have to stop into the fuel. Stop for fuel. Talking here in the driver's spotlight with Modern Weapon. Modern Weapon helps out a great deal with the Forza Spec Racing Series, getting it going each and every week, and of course contributing outside of the events themselves over on their Discord. So any of you who are following or are planning on racing in FM4 or have interest in racing in FM4, definitely reach out to Modern Weapon. I'm sure he can give you a lot of good insight and details. Great racing out there. That pit strategy definitely changed things, as you indicated. But who were you racing closely with throughout the race there? And I know you mentioned Patches Riley. You were able to finish out in front there. So was there anybody else that you kind of had your eye on throughout the race?
Me, myself, and I was mostly alone until the very end.
Yeah. It's always interesting how that happens. Like you're on your racing island and all you need is like a wrench thrown into the gears, in this case being the pit strategy, and boom, all of a sudden you've got company at the end of the race.
Absolutely.
What do you take from what you've learned here through the first 5 races of the season now into what is the back half of the season? I've failed to mention that to our viewers. We now enter the back half of the season starting with Monza.
Don't pit if you can avoid it.
There's like a recurring theme here.
They're so slow in the pits, which
yeah.
is fairly realistic as well, but it can be painful.
Gotcha. Speaking of the back half of the season, so we've completed now what was Sonoma, race number 2. We had, I have to take a look here at my cheat sheet, Sebring. Then there was Spa, Watkins Glen, Mugello, which we just completed, but now with Monza, Laguna Seca, Road America, and Mount Panorama left. Which race are you thinking is going to be your real opportunity to gain some points?
That's a great question. I do not know the answer.
It's a toss-up, huh?
Probably Bathurst if everyone else crashes and I don't.
You point out something really important there, and of course we won't dig into that one. We won't get into the weeds on that one, but yeah, you make a very strong case for Mount Panorama. But let's bring it back here to Monza then. Flat track, how do you perform, or how do you expect the 695 to perform for you out here on what is a pretty quick track but no undulation?
I'll probably struggle. Monza's not a track I do well at.
Gotcha. Alrighty, well, what about qualifying? Top 10? Bottom 10?
No, bottom 10, absolutely.
Okay, we'll see. Modern Weapon,
Sure,
hey, great chatting with you. Long time no speak.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you here, race number 2 of the evening. Or
Talk
qualifying number 2, I should say, before we get into race number 2, and then ultimately race number 2. Let's go ahead and bring into the driver's spotlight now the victor out there at Mugello, LS Subaru. I see LS Subaru, you let folks know, because there was a question earlier that you have a second account for casual gaming, which LSCM Gamer Logic.
Oh yeah, LSCM was what I used to be called on this account before we had our whole team change where we went from LSCM to LS. The other account I have that isn't Alec and that isn't LSEM Gamer Logic is just a separate account that I don't use for like team related things. Like if I just want to hop on a game and just play, I'll just go on that account.
Yeah.
And then if I need to do some like Tour or FM4 or similar league racing stuff, I use the LS Subaru account.
Got it. Well, there you go. I think it was maybe Device69 who had that question there in the chat last time, or maybe it was Pushing Porsche. Not entirely sure. But fourth victory of 5 here in season number 45. SFM Darkstar telling me in the chat at the beginning of the broadcast that he actually got the victory out at Spa, not necessarily because of a competitive thing, but because you ran out of fuel.
Yeah, well, that was actually Huracan that took that win.
I'm sorry, Huracan.
Yeah, that was Huracan that took that win at Spa. Yeah, there was a really dumb mistake that I made. I went into that race knowing full well that it wasn't going to be possible to no stop at Spa, but I kind of did anyways because there was no way I was going to catch up to Huracan either way, so I thought that I'd may as well that for some reason I would take the risk. Obviously it didn't pay off. I ran out of fuel before like I think it was Blanchimont, I think it was, or Pouon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Huracan had to push me across the finish line for me to take second.
Oh, how nice.
Which resulted in me losing my first race in RFM4.
Yeah, I know that's a remarkable feat. I mean, you haven't won what would be 36 races consecutively, because there were a few races that you withdrawn from that you didn't race. But that being said, I mean, for that to be your first like race that you've participated in and not be victorious is one heck of a feat here with as competitive as this group of drivers is. All right, so let's go to the fuel situation. Here we are now at Monza. Does the fuel at all factor in? A little bit shorter of a track than Mugello, no undulation, so it's going to be a flat surface, or are you good to go the entire length of the race again?
We'll have to see. Fuel consumption actually, fuel consumption around this track is actually a lot higher than it was at Mugello. If you have to, it will be very close, but we'll have to see how it goes. But chances are, the majority, if not all of the grid, will be going for a one-stop this race.
Got it. LS Subaru not showing his cards too much, not willing to commit to saying, yeah, I'm going to have to stop, Dustin. That's just the way it's going to be. No, he's going to say possible. Definitely flat track, so you're going to be on the accelerator a lot more than maybe some of those tracks that have the downhill sections where you can kind of coast a little bit. But LS Subaru, well done, and we'll see what you're able to do here at Monza for race number 6 of season 45.
Thank you.
All right, so there they go into qualifying for the second race of the evening. Don't go anywhere. If you've got to take a break, make it quick. We're going to do the 3 laps of qualifying, and then we'll hop into the racing action itself. We've got 16 drivers on the grid still. Nobody has left. Nobody's departed, which is always fantastic. Engineer, my apologies. I knew it was one of the newer chatters here in the stream who posed that question. I'm sorry that I mislabeled. A misnomer on who asked that. Is the alternate version of Monza or regular? This is the regular version, not the alternate version of Monza. I'm sorry. I know I saw that question earlier and I just didn't get around to it. It is the regular version of Monza, so we should see that early chicane right there on the front straightaway shortly after the acceleration. Yep, as a matter of fact, we can see it right there on the map. First to pull away from the grid, it's going to be LS Unku, representing the Light Sports team. And because of the fact that they have the they aren't able to turn off, let me see if I get this correct, because they can't turn off the Forza race regulations for this qualifying session. You see the tire wall. In the race, however, that tire wall will be removed. And so anybody who perhaps is late in the braking and is unable to make that first chicane, they can drive through. Now, of course, Forza Spec Racing Series, again, is a beer league where you're asked to race clean. Similarly, if you get in a situation where you can't make the first chicane and you just opt to go through, do the straight drive through, well, penalize yourself. Don't just full-on pedal to the metal accelerate through the chicane. That would be unsportsmanlike. Here comes LS Unku. As it's going to hit the back straightaway here. I don't actually mind the tire walls. Very practical way to stop the cheater, says Engineer. And that's very true. When you're in multiplayer lobbies, in the hoppers, it's a very good way to have the game police things, but here in an organized league like this, they like to police themselves, and that way if a driver does have some sort of unavoidable situation, that they are able to drive through without much of an incident. So it's just one of those things where, again, your integrity, there's a bit of an integrity factor in play here, which rightfully so. I think everybody should be able to monitor themselves and penalize themselves as they see fit. And of course, if you don't do it, then the organizers will do it for you. And if you do it too much, you might not be invited back. So everybody, really, the name of the game here in F4, race clean, and you'll be able to come back week after week. It is the honesty policy. You're absolutely correct. And across the line here on the not the flying lap, but the standing start lap, goes Unku. Kratium right now with the top time of 2:11.355. Well, actually, now it's going to be Fear the Fun with a 2:10.056. Tentatively. That's the standing start lap. Let's go ahead and go to Amos Huracan, who now has, well, it's going to be Soul Motion Fire as drivers trip the timer as they come across the line. A little bit of shuffling there. LS Subaru with a sub 2:10 time at 2:08.626. Quickest qualifying time at this point. Cloudy skies out here at Monza. I don't believe this is a track where it can rain. I know in Assetto Corsa Competizione it can rain on this track, but I don't think it can here in Forza Motorsport 7. Rather, you just got kind of the overcast skybox that we see here. Patches Riley with the 4th quickest time. Huracan with the 2nd quickest. Mortismo 5th quickest. Kratium 6th. Unku 7th. Gumby Greg Subaru. Ooh, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm not gonna trust the UI at this point. Something seems weird. It could be that Subaru has a 208, but a dirty 208. That might be why that the UI is having a hard time differentiating. This is one of the areas that I hope the next Forza Motorsport title improves. In that, seeing this real-time data, one, it's accurate, but then two, after the qualifying session is completed, that we are able to see everything in a legit best lap on down fashion versus what we'll see here in just a minute, where there's no real rhyme or reason to it apart from the fact that Turn 10 decided it was going to organize it based on total lap time, which is pointless in qualifying. I wonder how authentic Forza fuel usage is. There's probably some that are hit and miss. I think there's probably several cars that are maybe not as handicapped by the fuel depletion as others, not because they're better in fuel consumption, but because maybe the programming is just a little bit off. So is it super authentic? Is it super accurate? I'm gonna lean toward probably not. I'm looking forward to tire. Yes, absolutely, tire choice. How we've gone 7 Forza Motorsport titles with the lack of tire choice per race. Now, of course, here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, they tell you what tire you're going to use. That being said, FM4 is not the end-all be-all of league racing, and so, and of course, if the option comes available where you can set different tires, and if you go into pit, you're able to put on a different tire, that would be an interesting dynamic here that could possibly be introduced to the Forza Spec Racing Series. I'm not going to say that it will or won't, because I obviously leave that to the organizers to dictate. There is a lot about the next Forza Motorsport title that we just don't know yet. That does have me excited. Of course, hopefully the decisions that the developer makes, Turn 10 Studios, are logical decisions. Yeah, weight, aero, gearing, grip, yeah. Now, for anybody who's new here to the Forza Spec Racing Series, all these vehicles are built up the same, and by that I mean their upgrades are all the same from car to car. They do not differentiate. So race air filter, race ignition, race exhaust, sport valves, race engine block, race pistons, street oil and cooling, sport flywheel, race brakes, race springs and dampers. Then they've got the race anti-roll bars at the front and the rear, a race chassis enforcement with the roll cage, as you can see through the back end of LS Subaru's car, a race weight reduction, sport transmission, street driveline, race differential, sport tire compound here on the 695s, 245, 30 on an 18-inch rim all the way around on all four corners, and the multi-piece ADV1s NV2 SCs. Man, why do they got to make wheel names so difficult? And then a race front bumper and a race rear wing. That is the configuration. That being said, those parts that are tunable, you are able to adjust to your liking. So that's what you should keep in mind should you decide to compete in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Head on over to reddit.com/r/fm4 if you'd like more information. And if you'd like to start as early as next week, next Tuesday, week number 4 of this season, you can. You won't be in the running for the championship, but it's a great opportunity for you to get some familiarity with how things are run. And then when season 46 comes around and all the points are wiped, you too can be in the running for the championship. Or, at the very least, set yourself a goal, maybe a stretch goal, and shoot for that. At any moment here, we should be coming out of the lobby. I think there's just one more car coming across the line, and then we will be done. We're forgetting the fact that this game was made for people to ram you in an F1 car with a controller. Why would it have sector splits or functional qualifying? Well, multiplayer is never going to be a good experience, really, for racing. And by multiplayer, I mean the public hoppers. I think that's the one thing that really makes leagues like this super valuable, is if you want a relatively genuine, yeah, sure, there's some things in terms of realism that aren't represented here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, but if you want a genuine, healthy, enjoyable racing experience, you gotta join FM4. LS Unku with a 206.2, 205.774 there for SFM Darks, or Creation with a 205.3. That's going to be good enough for row number... Again, because they're not sorted in order. I think that's going to be good enough for row number 2. There for Creation with a 205.3. Fear the Fun with a 205.8, 205.4. Actually, so that put Cratrium in P2 on row number 1, then AMS Huracan in P3 on row number 2, and Fear the Fun in P4. Well done there by Fear the Fun. 207.5 there for Modern Weapon. Drex with a 206, Double Lot 3, 208.4 there for Cuda 93, LS Subaru with a 204.750. Nicky Bobby, oh, by the way, that's pole. 210.8 there for Nicky Bobby. Mortismo with a 206.668. Patches Riley with a 205. 211 there for Gumby Greg. 212 for Beer 98. And then a dirtied 208.9 there for Old Man Baby Body. The only dirty qualifying lap here tonight. And as is always the case, the quickest dirty lap will always be slower than the slowest clean lap, putting Old Man Baby Body at the back of the grid. 16 drivers in this one. Let's try to get all 16 to finish once again. Wouldn't that be awesome to have 2 races back-to-back, 16 drivers start, 16 drivers finish. You can make it 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's get all 23 grid spots filled. We've done it before here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. I know you guys, those of you who are asking the questions about FM4, I know you want to race. Let's get a full grid. Tell the people who you race with. Don't even make it about yourself and saying, oh yeah, I want to participate. Tell the people who maybe you race with. Maybe you guys are sick and tired of another group of folks, or you can't stand the public hoppers anymore. Who could? Jump over here to FM4 and get involved. Again, reddit.com/r/FM4. Nightbot's got the link for you there in the chat. SFM Darkster joins in the driver's spotlight. I believe you're on row number 2. Am I correct?
Sounds right.
Sounds about right, says SFM Darkster. I should have looked at the points tally heading in and what happened there in week number 2. Obviously, in week number 1, I think we saw an issue there at Sonoma, which prevented you from scoring as high as you normally would. Were you out for week number 2?
Yes, I
Okay.
chose to sit out week 2 because I was extremely tired. So I figured I will just kill everyone if I stay on track. And I ended up falling asleep playing World of Warcraft, so it was a good decision.
Well, there you go. It's not the first time I've heard somebody say that. Falling asleep playing World of Warcraft. How did the first race? Like I said, I don't know. Things went by too quickly, and I wasn't able to take note. How did things go for you there at Mugello?
Honestly, that may have been the single worst handling car I've ever driven in Forza since Tora Sebring 2019. I messed up and I lowered my front springs to try to get some more turn in, but in doing so, enabled both front and rear springs to bottom out during cornering. So every corner I was sitting at like 0.98 to full percent compression and just chronic understeer everywhere.
Quick adjustments in the garage before we did qualifying, or are you just going with it here at Monza?
I literally doubled my springs.
Okay. So you made the adjustment, and then in terms of qualifying, like you said, row number 2 sounds correct. So P3, P4, somewhere there. Able to turn it around here and get some more points and try to move back up the leaderboard.
That's the hope. And I think I'm actually 5th this time, not 3rd or 4th.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really matter. It's Monza. There's going to be death anyway.
P2, P3.
My hope is that this track, everybody should have to pit, so that'll kind of change the strategy a little bit from what it was at Mugello, where you think like most of the top 10 were no stopping it, where a couple of us had to pit. But it's going to be very frantic on this tight little twisty track.
Yes,
the shoebox to run around.
Yeah, you give me a little bit of deja vu, because we heard Fear the Fun heading into race number 1 saying, yeah, it looks like the pit strategy should come into play for everybody, and as we saw, it wasn't the case. So what about not only just adjustments to the car, but do you have to make some tweaking to your driving style? We don't have any downhill sections to kind of coast a little bit to conserve fuel. So do you adjust maybe how much acceleration you've got going on here?
Honestly, I'm just going to send it, Dustin.
Just send
no
it.
Fuel saving whatsoever. Just go for it, because the pit lane is so long and so slow, and there's only like 2 corners you can fuel save here. I'm just going to lick the stamp and send it.
At what percent could you start the final lap, the 15th lap out here in Monza, and go, you know what? I'm going to risk it.
I think you need at least 8.5.
Oh, wow. That much.
Yeah, this car has a very small fuel tank.
Okay. Well, that's good insight. We'll be looking at that here as we head into that final lap of the race. SFM Darkster, always great chatting with you, and best of luck to you here in race 2 of the evening.
Yep, actually, correction, Dustin. You need 6 2/3% if you're going to evenly distribute your fuel across all 15 laps.
6 2/3. I like it. So even more accurate there with the calculation. All right, fair enough. We'll look for it. All right. There's SFM Darkster, and again mentioning the Tora. Some of the tour events, and man, Tora is at it here in 2022. They've got a lot of cool things on the calendar. If you're curious about what's going on there, they're very much endurance race focused. However, there are some series that are a bit shorter. Head on over to racetora.com where you can get some more information there. Soul Motion Fire telling us in the chat that we are ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. Or in the words of SFM Darkster, just send it. Just send it. Why? Conserve fuel? Why? He's pretty confident that everybody's going to need to stop. LS Subaru didn't seem to be so confident when we chatted with him, saying that he's just going to play it by ear as they get around the track. Maybe LS Subaru knows something that perhaps some of the other drivers don't. But either way, it's all for fun. We're having a good old time out here. Forza Spec Racing Series on a Tuesday night. They are loading up the lobby. Let's go ahead and hop on over there off of my ugly mug into the racetrack. Forza logo, and on the grid they sit. LS Subaru. As soon as LS Subaru pulls away, all the drivers can start. They are not going by the countdown. So for those of you who might be thinking, gosh, there's a 5-second countdown in here somewhere, right? Yeah, they allow that to elapse, and as soon as LS Subaru moves, everybody else is free to go. And there he goes. Kick the tires, light the fires, just send it. We're live here, X-Venture. Race number 2 of the evening And we're starting the back half here of season 45, race number 6 of the season out at Monza. LS Subaru is going to lead them into the chicane. As I mentioned, the tire wall has been pulled out, and here they go, a little bumping and grinding. It ain't racing if there ain't a little bit of scuff marks on your car, right? Got to have the bruises and the scraps, the scrapes and the dings to prove that you're out there on the track. LS Subaru is going to be followed by Cratrum, AMS Huracan, SFM Darkster, Fear the Fun. Let's go to Fear the Fun in 15th position. And Device 69 says, first corner, yeet. No, everybody kept it on. Everybody kept it in between the white lines. Very, very well done. Again, don't be fooled. We've got an assortment of drivers, different skill levels. And the fact that all 16 were able to keep it on the racing surface and not extend the boundaries of the track, it's remarkable. Well done. LS Unku back there in 8th position. Creep says, is Subi putting the distance? That's what he told us. He says he's going for it. Going for it. Let's go to Cratrum now, up in 4th position here. At least looking at the back bumper. And I forgot to put my my track map together, but I believe this is Parabolica, right? Yes? Everybody just nod in agreement. I don't need you to tell me that I'm wrong. Just nod in agreement. I need a just send it emote. That's what we need. Every once in a while, a driver, when I'm doing these interviews, says something that I'm like, you know what? That would make a great emote. Just send it. Here comes Cratrum, who's going to send it into the final right-hander. And maybe a little late on the braking. Locks him up, gets the smoke going. And up toward the line here. 15 laps once again in this one. In our second race in Italy. And just like that, one is in the books with LS Subaru picking right up where he left off. MS Huracan in second, Darkster in third, Cratrum in four. Cratrum rolling up right onto the back bumper there of the Tide car as they go through the chicane right here on the front straightaway. Yeah, it is pretty exciting when we can see some folks drive straight on through, heading into what would be turn one if it's the alternate track, but a little bit of a technical corner there up front is always interesting to see. Parabolica, says Device. I think I said it right? Parabolica? I don't know. I'm not Italian. And there you get a nice view of the train of cars coming down the back. Well, not the back straightaway quite yet. Parabolica sounds like a Tool song. Yeah. Parabola. Is it called Parabola or is it called something else? It's para something. Parabolica. That's what I'm saying, isn't it? Are my ears not hearing the same thing y'all are hearing? Hold on, let me tap the OBS here. Maybe something's a little goofed up. Parabolica. Yeah, Parabola is a Tool song. Yeah. I'm a fan. Well, I was a fan. I don't know what James Maynard Keenan has been. I don't know what was up with that last album. I'm not a big fan. Not a huge fan of the last one. Parabolica. You guys can keep trying to pronounce it out there in the chat. I'm going to keep saying it the same way. The Undertow out. Yeah, I would agree. Undertow's a good one. Undertow's a good one. All right, here comes SF and Darkster closing in on LS Subaru, who finds himself in second position. What the heck happened? I'm sitting here talking about Tool songs and not even calling the action. AMS Huracan out in front here to start lap number 3. And here comes SFM Darkster to the inside in the Tide car, and LS Subaru prolonged braking there. Like, I think he braked a lot longer than he had to. And with that, the vehicle with the illegal number board, driven by SFM Darkster, moves up to second position. And gosh darn it, I didn't even use the dang replay buffer last stream. We're going to make sure that we put it to use here. Give me a second. We'll fire up that replay. SFM Darkster now lights up the front discs going through the... oh, gosh. I needed my track... Where's my track map? I need my track maps. I need just like a binder that has all the maps of Forza Motorsport 7. I always make the maps, and then I throw them away. I don't know why. It's because I put a bunch of notes on them. That's why. I need a binder with the paper protector things that I can write on with a dry erase marker, and in that way I don't have to throw the papers away when I'm done. All right, here comes SFM Darkster now back up to para, whatever you guys want it to be called. And here comes Cratrum looking to get out around LS Subaru, and he does. Does LS Subaru have damage to that vehicle? What possibly can be going wrong here? The third vehicle, the third driver to get around LS Subaru, who started out on pole. I don't see any damage. No driveline, no transmission, no clutch damage. Something a little bit amiss here. Unless LS Subaru is driving with fuel conservation in mind. He's right there on the back bumper of SFM Darkster. You want to talk about fuel savings? Just draft a little bit. I don't know. This could be a strategy, folks. Don't think that this three spot drop back by LS Subaru is something. I was thinking maybe it was something wrong with the car, but now that I think about it, Subaru might very well have the game plan in place to make sure he can go the distance. Even if he falls back by about 5 or 8, 10 seconds or so, heck, he could fall back 30 seconds and probably make it up with the length of the pit lane here out at Monza. Sneaky strategy there, Subaru, says Engineer. You would know. With Engineer in your name, you know it. All right, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that replay there, where, gosh, who was it? It was it SFM Darkster? Yes, SFM Darkster getting around there through turn number 1 and 2. LS Subaru. Very sophisticated, y'all. I wear a sport jacket, and we have replays. By the way, do you guys want to name the corners for the final race like we've done in the past? We might do that again. However, my stipulation is you've got to be a subscriber to do that, because that's another incentive I can do. So, I don't know. Let me whip that up here for week number 4, and that way I can properly announce it for all of you who have, again, gone the extra distance to support the broadcast. Open it up for you to name the corners. You get to pick a corner out there at Mount Panorama and give it a name, and that way I could shout it out. The other right and the next left. Yes. That's what I fear as a commentator is sounding too uninformed. Name the hardest corner microtransaction. Hey now. I'm just trying to find a way to give those who cough up a little bit of money each month to subscribe to the channel a little extra perk. That's all. Everybody benefits. Everybody benefits because you get to hear me say some silly names. We all get to have a good time with it in the finale. Even better if the championship comes down to that final race and I'm sitting there yelling like, I don't know, Squid Corner or Up Chuck Straightaway. LS Subaru has made it back up to 3rd. Now we do have a driver in the pit lane, and that driver is going to be Nicky Bobby. Either Nicky Bobby is doing it for an early fuel top-off, or possibly could have sustained some damage to that car early on in the race. We may never know. I know, Creep. I'm just giving you a hard time. Usually it's the viewers giving me a hard time, so. Pushing Porsche says, registered. See you guys in week 4. Awesome. Looking forward to it. What's your gamer tag there, Pushing Porsche? We'll look for you in the lobby at the start of the broadcast. Another good grouping here. Mid-pack, a little bit further up from mid-pack. It starts with Slow Motion Fire in 6th position. Actually, no. It starts with Unku in 5th. Then Slow Motion Fire in 6th, who is followed by Fear the Fun and Patches Riley And yes, I know I'm pandering to those who subscribe, but if you're watching right now, and I assure you that there's one of you, you may not know it, but you haven't yet clicked the follow button. Just check down below. If it still says follow, please click the follow button. You'll get a nice little air wrench indicator. I'll shout you out, and I promise I won't embarrass you too much. We'll say hi, and then that'll be it. And if you want to say hello there in the chat, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you there, Devise. Devise was just waiting for the call, the follower call. Yes, I'm happy. Thank you. It does let me know. Oh, and there's Engineer. Engineer right behind says, yeah, I can hook you up. Appreciate it. Side by side, there goes Uku and Soul Motion Fire. Soul Motion Fire has been putting up one heck of a fight here tonight. Applause. Applause to Soul Motion Fire. Hopefully he can keep it up. Finds himself currently in the top 5. Entered week number 5 in 11th position, or excuse me, entered week number 3 in 11th position overall on the leaderboard. So, an opportunity here for Soul Motion Fire not only to move up into the top 10 on the overall standings, but to get a nice performance here in week number 3. It's always nice to roll out of a week, really a couple of good races, carry that on into week number 4. Hopefully you can. I know a week out is a long time to try to sustain momentum, but we've seen drivers do it. Here comes Soul Motion Fire, and he's getting bumps from either side. Fear the Fun to the low line. Unku on the outside. You see the sparks going. And so for right now, Soul Motion Fire drops back to 6th. Fear the Fun, though, you know, we've seen Fear the Fun get a little... He gets out there, makes a few passes, and then gets a little anxious, rambunctious, and then drops back a little bit. So Soul Motion Fire is not out of the realm of possibility here for a top 5 finish. Not at this point, at least. They're going to go up here to LS Subaru, who's now back in 4th position. Audrex has moved up to 3rd. This has got to be. This has to be Subaru conserving fuel. And you have to wonder if the top 3 drivers are like, oh, crap. If this is what Subaru is doing, we might want to follow suit and follow suit quickly, because the more you go on, pedal to the metal, really pushing your car as quickly as it can go, the more fuel you're consuming, and the higher the chance you're going to have to go into pit lane. Take a look at the fuel. It's at 58% here as we near the halfway point. Lap number 7 of 15, and there goes, I think that was, who was that on the back of Soul Motion Fire? I think it was Unku? Maybe Unku getting a little push there on the back of Soul Motion Fire? Oh, Fear the Fun! Gonna flirt with the grass a little bit. Subaru is an Aussie. Up to Audrex in 3rd. I think a lot of us can appreciate the go F yourself Russian worship now more than ever. I agree. It is very fortunate for those of us who are able to sit here on a Tuesday evening and watch the frames drop out of the stream. Hold on, they'll be back. Quite a luxury for us to be able to sit here watching video games, playing video games, laugh and joke, knowing things happening in the world, and certainly, at least not the moment has not gone by throughout my day where I've not thought of how lucky and fortunate I am. So, yeah, very, very sad times. And so hopefully if I'm able to bring a bit of a smile to your face, a bit of fun to your day here on a Tuesday, in addition to any other fun that you might have had. But if I can help add to that, I'm certainly happy to do so. and of course anybody who may be affected. You know, I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but you know, thoughts with you, and hopefully some sense comes to people's minds, people who are responsible for what's going on out in that part of the world. Drex in the Chonk livery. I think it's a rendition of the Puma livery with a little bit of extra heft to the kitty cat there on the side. Third position with LS Subaru, who, again, I can't help but to think that Subaru is just hanging out right there, just enjoying the draft. I'm guessing the draft helps you conserve fuel here in Forza Motorsport. I don't know. I don't know this to be truth. But I suppose if the game allows you to conserve fuel, it shouldn't just be with your use of the accelerator, but your ability to kind of hover around the vehicle up ahead. Here comes Uku and Fear the Fun through Parabolika. They're going to go side by side. Let's jump back there real quick if I can do it. Come on. UI, work with me. LS Uku. They go under the Xbox One bridge. I throw that onto the soundboard, the Xbox One noise. The slipstream factor, yeah. With the telemetry that was introduced, I think it was what, Forza Motorsport 3? Maybe it was Forza Motorsport 2 where they introduced the telemetry. It would be cool if they had had the ability to for one of the telemetry menus to see draft. That would be a pretty cool little feature. SFM Darkser, by the way, is our race leader. Let's go up to Cratrim, who's now made the pass around SFM Darkser. The what is that? What's that character? That's the Nintendo character, right? That's the Kirby. Is that the Kirby, y'all? Kirby getting around the Tide Pod car. Only in the Forza Spec race. Oh, and a couple of wheels that makes Cratrim's 695 a little bit uneasy, and now here they go side by side. Well, I take it back. SFM Darkster goes ahead and reclaims the lead. Yeah, the curbs out here at Monza can be a little challenging. Put your car into a fit, and now SFM Darkster's a bit wide. That's going to allow Cratrim to pull up alongside. And now Cratrim back up into P1. Kirby or Wallaby? Wallaby? Wallaby. No, that's Kirby. With an I, too. Pretty sure, right? Lap number 9 of 15, our second race of the evening, and what an exciting night it has been. I'm telling you, don't take me for a fool. Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, race number 7 of the season here. The first race of next week, I'm predicting to be the most entertaining, most exciting race of the schedule. It's going to happen. All right, here we go. Look at this. How they bring themselves together so quickly, I do not know. And we've got drivers in the pit lane. All right, so we've got, gosh, who's that going to be? Is that going to be, I can't tell because the timing here in Forza Motorsport gets all goofed up ever so easily. LS Subaru is now the race leader. Here's Unku, Fear the Fun, Patches, Riley, Slow Motion Fire. They're going to gobble up a couple of positions here as they all stay on the track. However, I can't overlook the fact that the aggressive driving of these four probably doesn't mean that they're going to be able to keep pace with LS Subaru for very long. They're going to be looking at a pit stop here pretty soon. It's Amos Huracan who goes into pit lane, Cratrim, and Darkser, and Audrex. So 4 of our top 5 have yielded to the pit monster. If this was Elden Ring, the pit lane where the AI takes over is a boss. If this were Elden Ring. If Forza Motorsport 7 were Elden Ring, Imagine that. Put that in your heads. You go into pit lane, you're the tarnished. You've been tarnished. Unku, fear the fun. Look at this shootout. Then you got slow motion fire and Patches Riley. They're going to go side by side through the S's, and Fear the Fun goes ahead and drops back into third. Patches drops back to fifth. Did LS Subaru lose the pace momentarily, or was he using the slipstream to conserve gas till the last couple of laps? Type 2 slow seems to like he was. Yeah, my prediction is that, or at least not prediction, but my thought is that Subaru definitely is doing it for strategy. It's not a lack of pace. It is a decision. It is a strategic yielding of traffic earlier, but now that traffic of 4, which included Cratrim, Darkser, and Huracan, they went ahead and went into pit lane. So the question is, can Subaru make it all the way to the end, or is he going to realize that, hey, the 33% here is not going to cut it? 33, make that 32% now with 5 laps remaining. Oh, I don't know. Tactical move. No, that would be well, I guess not going to the pit lane would be the tactical aspect of it. The strategy is, I'm not going to the pit lane. Oh, he different. Oh, he different, says Pushing Porsche. He does seem to be coming off the pace a little bit here. Maybe going to allow the 3 or 4 cars back behind them to go ahead and just take a spot, because they're going to have to stop. They're just pushing it too hard. There's no way. Let's go back to Unku here, who's currently running in second. I'm going to guess maybe 10 or maybe even 15% less in the fuel tank, down to 16%. Down to 16% compared to the 30. I told you, 15. Look, I can do maths. I can do maths, everybody. Go longer for free by getting a slipstream. That's the tactical move. There you go. That's the tactical piece of it. Will it be enough, though? Because now with 4.5 laps remaining for Subaru, 30% in the tank is not a lot. It was SFM Darkster telling us in the driver's spotlight pre-race that you needed about 6 2/3. 6 2/3 left in the tank. That's a percentage too. It would be cool to see Forza Motorsport move to gallons and liters. Liters? Liter of cola? Do we have liter of cola? What's the difference in fuel between first and second? We just saw it. It's about a 15% difference. LS Subaru was at 30 about a lap ago. LS Unku was at 15. This might backfire on Subaru, says engineer. Oh, a nice little shove there. Fear the Fun on the side of Patches Riley. Patches Riley like distancing himself, like, oh, okay, we're going to do some social distancing out here on the track because Fear the Fun, you're a little bit too much for me. As the Berea pasta delivery 695 here of Patches goes ahead and drops back to fourth. And Fear the Fun's all over the place. Gets his car sideways, and that forces Patches Riley to kind of give him a little bit of a headbutt. Hopefully that doesn't yield any damage there to Patches Riley. No, he's okay. But that is a little bit, it's a little indicative of what we see from Fear the Fun. Littering and. So is Subaru on 30%? Not now. Looking at Subaru's vehicle, he's already down to 23 with about 3.5 laps remaining. Rob Meow. I'm sorry, Dustin. Did you just say meow? You guys are fun here this evening. I appreciate all the chit-chat in the chat. The pit lane, as we call it here on the channel, because, you know, the chat's just too... That's just too obvious. That's all the other streams call it the chat. You guys are the pit lane. All right, let's see what Subaru coming up to the pit entry, goes right on by it. And we've got a vehicle stopping. Who is that? Actually, we've got the whole crew here. The whole slew of Unku, Patches Riley, Fear the Fun, and not Huracan. Huracan's already gone into pit lane. And now Huracan across the line, beginning of lap 13 in second. So Huracan is now... Wait, hold on. I'm telling you, the timing here in the game is just... Ugh. Yes, Huracan, second. All right, so now Huracan's on the mad dash to catch up with LS Subaru, with hopes that LS Subaru has either miscalculated or perhaps wasn't as efficient with fuel as he had hoped, giving Huracan the chance to pick up a second victory here in Season 45. Short shift time and coast. No need to be flat out, says Devise. But Huracan is coming up quick. Like, I don't think coasting is an option here for Subaru. Not unless you want to be bumper to bumper with Dark Sir here on the final lap and a half. And he's not even that far at this point. Not even that far. He's 2.5 out. What's the time gap between Huracan and Subaru? It should show up here on the ticker across the top of the screen. I think it'll be the next, well, that's in feet. So you see about a 1,600 feet difference, 1,600 foot difference between Subaru and Huracan at this point. Oh yeah, he's closing quick. Because Subaru's conundrum right now is, do I continue to go at a less than full pace to try to conserve fuel, or do I just go all out and hope that I make it? Because now, as we gawk at the fuel situation, 14% coming across the line will be the beginning of lap 14. 2 laps remaining of 15. That 16th lap is not a racing lap. That is a cooldown lap. So Subaru has 2 laps to make it on what is now 13% fuel. If we take SFM Dark Sir's calculation to be accurate, 6 2/3 is what is needed. That means Subaru mathematically can make it across the line, perhaps coughing on fumes. Stay out, says Device. Oh, he doesn't have a chance. I mean, he doesn't have a choice at this point. Has no choice. Here comes SFM Dark Sir, Kratrium 3rd and 4th. They want to push hard because, again, if Subaru runs out of fuel, they have a chance to grab a few points. A few more points to try to keep pace with Subaru here in the championship. The driver who needs it the most, however, right there, AMS Huracan in the Tide car. Whew. This is fun. This is fun. I hope you guys join me next week. Don't miss it. Be there or be square, right? How much fun are we having? Dre101 says, how long will this be going? Just picked up the game a week ago. They've got 2 more weeks here in Season 45. Then they take a 3-week break. They do some testing. So if you want to race in Season 46, know that in 3 weeks' time from tonight, they'll start the preparations for Season 46. You want more information about how to get involved, and regardless of your skill levels, as long as you race clean, you're good to run with the FM4 crew. Reddit.com/r/FM4 is where you'll need to go. They don't have Season 46 info up yet. That'll come after Season 45 has completed, but at least you can get in there, poke your nose around, say hello to some of the guys and gals of the series, let them know that you're interested, and then hopefully maybe we'll be calling out your gamer tag here. Season 46. Across the line goes Huracan. The final flag, or the white flag, not the final flag, that would be the checkered flag. The white flag has dropped here. And with 6% left in the fuel tank, Subaru is either going to be just on the edge of no no fuel in the tank, or he might actually have none and come coughing across the line. And, not too far behind. Oh, where'd the audio go? It seems maybe we've got an audio. That or LS Subaru actually came off the throttle. LS Subaru might have actually just fully come off the throttle there. 5%. It's like the longest New Year's Eve countdown of your life. 4. It is a lift and coast. Yeah, that's... I was thinking I had an audio issue there for a second, but then I reminded myself that he probably just let up. Let the engine take a quick break as Amos Huracan has closed the gap. So what's going to happen here coming out of Parabolica and into the final right-hander out here at Monza in what has been a very exciting week number 3. So much fun. So much fun. Under the bridge. 2%. So he should be good here. The question is, does he mash it at this point? I think you do, right? Like, what's the point of coasting now at this point? Yeah, you heard a shift, an upshift. And like that, LS Subaru has done what much of the field couldn't do. As a matter of fact, he might have done what nobody was able to do out here. And finish this one. Parabolica. That's what I'm saying. All right, I'm sending this mic back to. I'm sending this mic back to Corsair. It's broke. I'm saying it right. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't flip back quick enough here. Huracan in second, Krejcim in third, Darkster in fourth. Let's go quickly to Fear the Fun, who's in eighth. Can he hold off? Yes, he can. It's Kuda 93 with the Oreo car. Slow Motion Fire is going to grab a top 10 spot, where Tismo should be able to come around with 11th, Modern Weapon in 12th, Old Man Baby Body in 13th, Gumby Greg, Nicky Bobby, and Beer 98. Well done! Not only was it a phenomenal race here in race number 1 and 2 of the evening, but everybody finished both races. 16 drivers to start, 16 to finish. No shortage of excitement. Winner. This week was a winner. That was textbook. DWM Frog says, wow, that was some great strategy. It was. Employed perfectly. Creep with the standing ovation. Awesome sauce. All right, this is the point at which I take my second break of the evening. When we come back, we'll talk to some of our drivers in the driver's spotlight. We'll preview what's ahead here in week number 4 of the season. Please don't go anywhere. Hang out for a little bit. Let's have some fun to close this thing out. And then I hope to see you again a week from tonight. You're watching X Venture. Dustin Moore, Forza Spec Racing Series, live on Twitch. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Thanks to those of you who sat through the ads and allowed a little bit of that revenue to come through. And then, of course, for anybody who might join us a little bit late, they can avoid the pre-roll. I will have the replay on after this broadcast. So those who maybe were racing or would like to watch back the all of tonight's festivities, if you weren't here for all of the racing action, I will have that replay going immediately after this broadcast so that you can check it out. And of course, with some of the drivers jumping in there in the chat, you can interact with them. All that good stuff. Speaking with interacting with the drivers, let's go ahead and turn on over to the driver's spotlight. The man, the myth, the legend. Let's see. Pushing Porsche here. LS Subaru says, this is like watching Lewis Hamilton 3 years ago. Who and will LS Subaru be dethroned? Or who will dethrone you? Man, incredible strategy. You didn't play all your cards, or you didn't show us your hand heading into that race, and you kind of left it open to whether or not you'd have to make a stop for fuel. You did not. You were the only driver who was able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I did end up. I did know that it would have been faster to no stop. The only risk being that you have to be really fast. You have to be really good with fuel saving, along with still putting in reasonably quick laps in order to make it in order to get a benefit out of it. Fortunately enough, due to some other things happening during the race, along with me being able to actually put the pace in while still fuel saving, I was able to make the no stop work.
Yeah, I know. I was dumbfounded at first, and that's partly because I'm just dumb. I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, wow, that's 3 passes around LS Subaru before it finally dawned on me that, hey, he's legitimately going to try to no stop this thing. Were you a little bit surprised that nobody was trying to be on board with you on that strategy, or was it to be expected that everybody was just like, it's full throttle's the only way?
I wasn't surprised that nobody was going to try and no stop it with me. It is actually really difficult. It was really difficult to no stop at Monza, and for the most part, people were just saying that it wasn't going to work, and that they were just going to one stop anyways, and that it was going to be faster.
Not only looking to be the first 4-time in a row champion here of the Forza Spec Racing Series, but proving people wrong by saying, "Oh no, watch me, watch this, hold my beer while I do this entire 15-lap race in the 695 out at Monza without a stop." Engineer in the chat is asking if you drop back intentionally for the slipstream. Now we know obviously you were letting up on the throttle to try to save fuel, but does slipstream here in Forza Motorsport 7 actually help in that conservation as well?
I actually didn't think about slipstream when I was originally coming up with my strategy. Where I was lifting off to save fuel, that was what I was doing in my practice runs. So they were just going past because they were, braking much later and still remaining on the throttle coming into the corner. So, but I did realize that once people got past, I could use their slipstream to maybe help save just that tiny bit more fuel. The slipstream in Forza 7's not really that powerful, so it probably didn't help too much, but every little bit helps really when it came to this situation.
Here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, they encourage drivers to be a part of the comms in Discord. That way, everybody's kind of able to communicate with each other. Are you a comms person during these races, or do you kind of just mute it and you're just in there for the sake of being in there? And if you are in there and you can hear folks, are they giving you a hard time? Or are they saying, you're not going to make it?
Yeah. When I joined the call, people were talking about how you have to no stop Monza. There's no way you can do it. I kept telling them, hey, it is possible. You just have to be really quick and consistent with your fuel saving laps. And yeah, then they doubted. Well, they listened to what I said when I said, oh, I can actually do a no stop, but they didn't think it would actually be possible. That yeah, I do get a bit of spray for it, but yeah, it is what it is.
I'm going to keep harping on this whole fuel saving thing because it really is remarkable. Out of 16 drivers in this race out at Monza, it was LS Subaru, the race winner, who was the only one able to stay out there the entire race without a stop. How how do you even practice for something like that? Because as you had mentioned, it's a careful balance of conserving fuel while being quick enough to ensure that drivers won't be able to come up behind and take a position from you. So I just can't even fathom how you work that strategy out to know that when I come across the line on lap 15 for the end of lap 15, that there is going to be just enough there.
Yeah, it's a lot of not only trial and error, but also a lot of maths. You gotta figure out whether or not it is possible to do a no stop for the race length, and then you gotta put into the equation of how long does it take to actually enter and exit the pits. And there you just do a bunch of math and decide whether or not pitting is faster or if it's slower. In this case, pitting was faster, but only by a little bit, and you had to keep a certain pace in order for it to be faster.
Creep in the chat with the very apropos statement saying that you are the real 1%er, not only in your skill here in Forza Motorsport, but the ability to take it all the way down that far. Well done, Creep. All right, Subaru, so here we are, the back half of Season 45. One race already out of the way here on the back half, that being race number 6. So we've got Laguna Seca coming up next week. In addition to that, Road America. Road America seems like it might be another one of those that is very interesting on fuel savings. But how good do you feel heading into week number 4? The position that you are, you've got 200 championship points at this point. Fourth straight championship is within reach, it seems.
Yeah, I feel very good coming into week 4. Exactly, pretty much what I wanted the outcome to be in week 3 happened, and now at this point, Huracan now has no control over deciding the championship because if you do the math, all I need to do is finish at least second place in both of the races, and then I'm champion. So the championship is now decided pretty much by if anyone else other than Huracan finishes the races ahead of me. If I finish anything below second, then then the championship will go to the final race.
Not only bold in his strategy, but making it clear that, hey, I've got this thing locked down. Championship here in Season 45. AMS Huracan in the chat says, "Want to bet?" Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Really love the not only the strategy talk, but of course, seeing you actually not only talking the talk, but walking it out on the track, more than walking it, making that 695 go the distance. 15 laps at Monza, picking up 2 wins here in week number 3, and says that, hey, it's only a matter of time before I have my 4th LS Subaru. Well done here tonight. We'll see you a week from tonight.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Let's go to the driver's spotlight. Creep saying in the chat, I love this. You and me both, Creep. You and me both. Fear the Fun, who had a phenomenal showing himself here, not only out at Mugello, but you were in the thick of it out at Monza. Man, You've kind of found yourself a spot here in the 695, it seems.
Fear the Fun? I'm not Fear the Fun.
Did I say Fear the Fun?
Yeah,
I thought I said Slow Motion Fire.
Them's fighting words, Dustin.
Oh, gosh. Well, he jumps into the driver's spotlight more than you do, so just happens. Freudian slip. Well, okay.
I'll let it go this time.
All right, so Slow Motion Fire. Well done here tonight in both races, Mugello and Monza. Do you have the same sentiment?
Yeah, no, I had a good one. Monza was a whole lot of fun. And then Mugello was too. Had a great race with Dark Cert Mugello. So I can't complain tonight. I had some great races.
Yeah, and I don't mean to turn the spotlight off of you because respectfully, you had your own great performance out there. But man, what perhaps a lot of y'all thought was not impossible, or maybe you didn't think it was impossible. You just didn't. It wasn't going to be seen until, or it wasn't going to be believed until it was seen that LS Subaru was able to go the distance while everybody else did a pit stop. Were you at all the least bit interested in trying a similar strategy, or did you just think it was that far out of reach?
No, in my testing, I didn't think there's any way I was going to do it. I didn't have the pace to save fuel and be competitive. But the fact that Subaru could pull it off, I mean, that's what we set up this whole season for. We
Yeah.
picked a bunch of these races to put right on the limit and see who would try the fuel save strategy and who wouldn't. So it's good to see it play out at so many events this season. I've had a lot of fun with it watching strategies.
How do we copy and paste the fuel tank and the consumption or the efficiency of the 695 and just carry that on through FM4's history from here on out?
Well,
Or
we'll
future, I
see.
should
After
say.
running at Bathurst with this tiny little tank and 15 pit stops, we might all be tired of it.
Might be ready to go back to the no-stop racing that we're accustomed
yeah.
to. Fair enough. Next week is Laguna Seca. I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be the best race of the lot here, all 9 races of season 45. I'm just projecting it. I have nothing really to back it up, but I think it'll be a good one. And then Road America, which could be another one of those very interesting pit strategy type races on the sprawling full circuit that it is. What do you think here going into week number 4? I think you're going to move up into the top 10. Can you get a little bit higher on the leaderboard?
Man, I'm hoping to, but it has been a battle for that 10th position. So we'll see. My goal is to be there. I think Road America is going to play out quite a bit like we saw Monza. You're going to have kind of a lot of little packs kind of drafting together, trying to run in a group. So, and then Laguna Seca, that's just going to be a cluster. That's a tight track. So that should be good racing as well.
If there's anybody on the leaderboard that you have your sights on, who are you calling out?
Oh man, it's always been Kuda, and then this season Patches has really picked up the pace.
Yes.
So I'd like to beat him.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm taking note of it, and we'll see here coming out of week number 4, or going into week 4, and then ultimately coming out of week 4, the championship picture. Subaru is saying it may not be as close as maybe I am hoping, but I am hoping it comes down to the wire. If not, we'll have plenty of other battles throughout the field that determines where people finish overall. We had some folks here, Soul Motion Fire, and maybe you'll see it or hear it in the replay a little bit later on, but a lot of folks showing interest in the Forza Spec Racing Series. We had a great viewership here tonight, so I know we've gone down this road before. What do you have to say to anybody who's like, oh man, that looked cool, I want to participate?
Yeah, I mean, drivers of all skill levels are welcome, to those that race clean and respectfully, and we just kind of treat the whole thing as a beer league, so we're here to have fun, come out and race on a Tuesday, and don't take anything too seriously.
There you go. As competitive as it was here in both races tonight, know that if you're not in that battle, that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. The more you compete, I'm sure the better you'll see your driving skill improve, as we just heard a testament from Soul Motion Fire saying that the likes of Patches Riley, Cuda 93, these are drivers that have really shown an improvement over the seasons. Not even just it hasn't even taken months or years, but rather just a matter of seasons. So even if you think, hey, I'm going to be bottom tier, that's cool. Figure out where you can find yourself maybe after a couple of seasons, after you're able to put a couple of seasons in. All right, Soul Motion Fire. Well, hey, appreciate the chat, and looking forward to week number 4. Man, I hope it's a lot more competitive than what Subaru is suggesting, but either way, we're going to find some great racing on the track out there, and I'm sure you'll be in the mix of it too.
Yeah, it's not over yet with the drop week format. If Huracan has a good showing next week, he's still in the running. So
That's right. AMS Huracan in the chat saying, it's not over yet. Try me. See what happens. Well done here, Soul Motion Fire, with the organizing, and we'll see everybody in week number 4.
Yep, it's great to have you back, Dustin. We'll catch you next week.
All right, there you go, folks. So I don't mean to sound repetitive and like a broken record, but really, as we go through the seasons and we have these weeks that maybe are a little bit more on the ho-hum side, it never fails that the Forza Spec Racing Series brings us phenomenal action like we saw here tonight. It was true in week number 1. I'm sure it was the case in week number 2. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to broadcast it. We've got 2 more weeks of this, folks. Week number 4, week number 5, lots of racing to go. And even if the championship ultimately is decided coming out of week number 4. That isn't to say that we're not going to have ourselves a great time out here. Oh my gosh, I just goofed up my OBS. There we go. I'll fix it. I'm going to fix it live here. There's a look at the remaining calendar. Again, a week from tonight, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, 19 laps out there, then 13 out at Road America. And then we conclude things, 39 laps out at Mount Panorama, Bathurst. And as was mentioned earlier, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Who was it? Was it Modern Weapon? I think it was Modern Weapon who said that, yeah, Mount Panorama could be the deciding factor for a lot of drivers in their finishing spot on the leaderboard, because it's just one of those tracks that can be unpredictable. You may be racing great, but because of the congested and confined spaces, as you get down the hill out at Mount Panorama, you get caught up in an accident, and all of a sudden things are a completely different picture than maybe what you had thought of going into that race or what you had prepared for. So, it's going to be fun. I'll fix it live, says Engineer. That's what I do. I try to fix everything. I want to give you guys the best possible experience here on the broadcast. I don't want to try to shortchange y'all. That being said, thanks for everybody's engagement here today in the chat. I tell you, whenever we get the conversation, when we get the folks, dropping their thoughts, their opinions, their own analysis of the race into the chat, that makes things that much more exciting for me. I could do this thing solo. It won't be as exciting for you. It won't be as exciting for me. And tonight was one of those nights where I'm like, man, this was cool. And again, I mean, despite the fact that I wasn't here last week, the fact that you guys are coming out the way that you are, supporting the broadcast with your viewership, with the follows. We had Manny, we had Pushing Porsche, we had Old Man Shorty a few days ago, Creep, Devise, Engineer. It's always nice to see those alerts pop off in the corner of my eye and be able to read those out. Back to lurking I go till the next race, says Devise. Well, you got all the time. You got a whole week's worth of lurking if you wish. I will be back live on Friday. It will be one of my shorter Friday streams starting at about 7 p.m. Eastern, perhaps a little bit earlier. But 7 p.m. Eastern is when you can expect me to be live with American Truck Simulator. Yeah, I'm going to play the trucker. The Moore Trucking Company is back at it on Friday. Play a little bit of that. It's a nice casual stream. It's a great opportunity for us to kind of just joke around and have a good time and maybe laugh at some of my perils in ATS. And then back again on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Yes, it is a morning broadcast on Sunday mornings for SnowRunner Sunday. If you're interested in watching me play SnowRunner, which I've gotten much better at over the last couple of months, check that out. That's a longer stream, a 4-hour stream on Sundays, 9 a.m. And SnowRunner is always fun. I'm out there in Alaska in the snow. Imagine that, in a game that's called SnowRunner. I've found the snow. Come hang out with me then, and then of course I'll be back. I'll be back live a week from tonight, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. Get here a little bit sooner. I'll have the music jamming. It'll be a good time. It'll be like a virtual a virtual tailgating event. We'll have the music going. You guys can let me know that you're here. Say, hey Dustin, I'm tuning in. Looking forward to the racing tonight. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who you think is going to take the victories there in week number 4. Let's do it up. Let's do it up, and then let's strive for 23 drivers there in season 46. If you're on the fence or if you're definitely leaning toward racing, I'm looking forward to calling your name out here on the broadcast and just having an overall good time getting ready for Forza Motorsport. I'm telling you, this is like the countdown to Forza Motorsport. I don't know how many digits it's going to take for us to get there, but I know that it's coming, and eventually we'll make that transition in the new title, at which point, I'm telling you, great opportunity for you to get involved now and get your name synonymous with FM4, because when we move into the new title and inevitably more people are going to be coming out and saying, hey, I want to participate, Soul Motion Fire and Company might have to move to like a little bit of preferential treatment or, opportunity for those who raced in previous seasons to kind of have the right of refusal to get into the next season. It might be that busy. We've seen it. We've seen the lobbies fill up here. I have no doubt it'll happen again. Who's bringing the roadkill? Bring whatever you want. Engineer's got the charcoal. Awesome. Devise has got the 6-pack. of whatever it is your age allows you to consume. And we'll be back here a week from tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This here tonight was a lot of fun. So don't miss out next week. All right, like I said, I will have the replay rolling right after this. So if you missed any of the action or you'd like to hang out and chat with some of the drivers, feel free to. And then as soon as Friday rolls around, American Truck Simulator, right? Like you see there on the screen. What are the rules for entry? Asks Bike Shop Guru. Head on over to the link that Nightbot has there for you, reddit.com/r/FM4. Everything you need to know about Season 45. And even if you don't plan to participate in Season 45, know that you can be a competitor there in Season 46. Doesn't matter your skill level. I promise you. You may not get a lot of screen time. You may not get the most camera time of all the drivers. But if you're having a good time, having fun, that's all that really matters. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Until next time, our next venture. Peace. Wait for it. It's coming. It'll be there. Again, pushing Porsche, Manny, Creep, Devise, Engineer. Appreciate the follows. Adios. Parabolica. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I got it right the whole time. Sounds like some Valley Girl pronunciation there, Devise. I think you got it all wrong. Parabolica? No. No way. All right, replay coming up.